Breaking news for the Carolina Panthers: they have fired their general manager Marty Hurney. Excuse me. Um, they agreed to part ways with him today, and it's the second time he has been fired by the Panthers. He was previously the GM of the Panthers for 10 years, from 2002 to 2012. They rehired him as an interim GM in 2017 after Dave Gettleman was fired, and then they gave him the full-time role in 2018. I don't know why we rehired this guy, but okay. Anyway, Dave Tepper said this about the firing. I think sometimes you just need a restart, a refresh. We did it last year on the coaching side. Maybe you could say it should have been done before on the GM side. Maybe it should have been. I'm sure people may say that or otherwise on both sides. I think it's just time on both sides to do that. It just seems it just seems like the right time to move on and move forward. Um, I mean, like I said, I don't know why we hired this guy. This guy just wasn't, and I respect what he's done. I respect him as a person, but as a general manager, he's not good at getting the job done. I mean, he's gotten all these guys. He drafted two great defensive players in the making, in Jeremy Chin and Brian Burns. He got Teddy Bridgewater. No, I'm not complaining. He also drafted Chris. I think Christian McCaffrey drafted. I could be wrong on that. But the problem is that nothing's been clicking, and as a result, and I get it's a team effort, like, and there's blame to go around for everybody when it comes to the team's failure. But all that blame revolves around the general manager, because that's the product he puts on the field. You know what I mean? That's the players he hired. Those are the players he drafted, and those players are expected to live up to their expectations. And because it's not happening, that reflects around the general manager. Same thing with the coaches. And even though they're blamed for a lot of stuff, a lot of the choices the players and themselves make revolves around them. And that's why I think the next person they should fire is the defensive coach, Phil Snow. You're gonna tell me that you have Shaq Thompson, Derek Brown, Trey Boston, Dante Jackson, Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns. You're gonna tell me you have all those guys on defense, and that's not an elite defense. He needs to go to. But with that said, I hate to see people lose their jobs. But if you're not doing the job right, then it obviously means you're not fit for the job. And I wish him the best of luck in the future. What's going to happen to him in the future, I can't tell you for sure. But I think this was a very necessary move by Dave Tepper. I really do. I don't think he was getting the cylinders going. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. It was a move that had to be done, and good job for David Tepper for making it. But honestly, dude, like I gotta keep it real with you. I would have waited till the end of the season.
Yeah, I would have too.
Because right now, you're not gonna change nothing, bro, without a GM. Nothing's gonna change. Like you tell me any improvement that you're gonna make by getting rid of this GM right now, when the
Hey,
GM has nothing to do with the play style of this team, the way they're playing. There is none. You're gonna teach this. You're gonna teach. You're not gonna. You're not gonna go through. There's nothing right now that the GM can do right now. It's 2 weeks left in the season. The Panthers are eliminated. There's nothing they can do right now. So wait, okay? You're gonna get the next two games, get through the next two games, and then right after this end of the season, then you make that firing, and then you start looking for more in the offseason. Then you start looking for another GM in the offseason. But right now, it just didn't make any sense. I would have waited till later, but I mean, good job for David Tepper making this decision, because David Tepper realizes that in order to make the Carolina Panthers a contending team again, the way they were back in 2015 and
14, somewhat.
yeah, and like 2016, 2020, all 2017, all that. Well, not like 2016, 2017 season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. In order to make them go, in order to bring them back to that certain place, they need to start with the GM, and they need to get a new GM, and the new GM needs to start bringing in new players to kind of like shift it around. Because you're gonna have all the rookies in the world. You mentioned a lot of young players like Dante Jackson, Jeremy Chin, Trey Boston is an exception. I'll tell you why later. Shaq Thompson, another exception. Derek Brown, Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, all these young
Right.
players, Dante Jackson, and you got two veterans on that defense,
Ray
which
Boston, Shaq Thompson.
Shaq Thompson, Trey Boston. You got those two veterans. So I think they need more. That's what I'm saying. You need some veterans on that team. I think you need a veteran. I think you need a veteran on each side of the defense and
Right.
offense.
Right. I agree. Um, yeah, man. And also before I continue with my thoughts, I actually read the article on NFL, which reports was written by Kevin Patra. Matt Rule will be one of the deciding factors of who will be the next GM. So hopefully he looks deep into who's actually on the GM on the market to find a GM. And I hope he does his research, and I hope he picks the right person. Because he's gonna be a part of who's gonna be a next GM. He's gonna be one of the pieces that decides who he wants to be a GM, for the rest of them. Um, and yeah, like we said, we need veterans on, we need veterans on each corner of the offense. Offensively, defensively. Um, and obviously these rookies, like I said, Jeremy Chin and Brian Burns are the two biggest ones in my opinion. Those kids are gonna be defensive players in the making. Their stats this year prove that. Just go look at the stats. Same thing with wide receivers. We got DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Robbie Anderson. Teddy Bridgewater isn't necessarily the same, but if you get him clicking on four cylinders, you know he's a good quarterback. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, you have all those guys on defense, and the defense isn't clicking. I really think the Panthers need to look into another defensive coordinator too. Because like we've seen this Panthers defense clicking. If this defense is clicking, it's so elite. You know what I mean? It's happened against the Lions. I think it's the best example I can use. They killed them 20-0, and we've seen that defense in full effect. We know what it looks like. But that the problem with this, it can't be doing it every once in a while. It's got to be consistent. So I really think this is a good move by the Panthers in firing Marty Boy. He had to go. I don't even know why. I don't even know why they rehired him to begin with. Um, as for more firings, I really think the Panthers need to look into that. Look into the defensive coordinator area, because they need a new defensive coordinator as well.